We can't just be. This is gonna be dead. You know.
How do I flip my camera?
Am I pointing at you, Jamie?
No,
you're pointing away from Jamie. Am I pointing
That's
at Jordan?
annoying.
No,
you're both pointing at the
away.
screen.
Oh, fuck
this is
off.
a madness.
No.
Am I pointing at a person?
No.
What about now?
No, she's at the bottom for me.
I should
That's
be next
Rock.
to you. Yes.
Rock, that's Rock, right?
And that's you over there for me.
I feel like this should all be in the podcast anyway. This should just be the intro. Hi everyone, welcome to the first ever Steel eSports podcast.
You got a name for this?
Steel
Pod.
Sports podcast. Yeah.
I feel like it should be something with the boys though.
Steelcast with the boys.
Chilling with the boys.
Cold ones. No, wait, that's
Stop saying cold ones.
Lukewarm ones. We need to get in the middle.
Yeah.
Podcast with the boys. I'm Terry.
Terry.
Or Terry and the boys. Terry and the boys podcast. That's a great name because no one will know who Terry is.
Nobody will have a clue. There'll come a time when we have to explain that, and who's going to do that then?
You?
So, boys,
we get
who
Danny
are
on
you?
to do it.
Danny can be the stand-in Terry.
All right, go on, Rock. Let them know who you are, bro. We'll start with you.
All right. So I am Rourke, necessarily purple online, and you can follow me on Twitch
Plug.
at necessarily purple.
Hashtag always plug.
Yeah. So,
Yo,
Jordan. Go.
You're all pointing at random people. It's irrelevant. Yeah, your boy is your boy Jordan, or at Steel Fizzle on Twitch and Twitter. Your local caffeine addicted spell slinger.
My guy likes the dragons, you know.
Love the dragons.
Big up the dragons.
Jamie.
I thought I was pointing at you first.
I mean, I introed the whole thing.
Yeah, but we're going round, aren't we? No, we started with Rock.
Wait, Rock's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Me,
started
Jordan,
with Rock.
you, Jamie, mate.
All right, I'm Joe, also known as Jamie Imagine. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, all that sort of stuff at Jamie Imagine.
See that right there? The JME is why everyone calls you Jamie, mate.
It is, but that's my initials. I'm the true Jamie, let's be honest. Joe Martin Edwards, JME. I mean,
personal touch.
Go on, Jamie, who are you?
I'm Jamie. That's it.
That's it now.
Toxic OVL on Twitch, YouTube. Join the Discord. Steel eSports. Hashtag stay steel. Well, let's get into it.
Cool.
First topic.
First port of call.
I want to say, quick shout out. We've always wanted to do this. We've wanted to do this for a while.
Who are you shouting out?
I'm shouting out us, mate. I'm shouting out us as people.
The event. Shouting out the event.
Shouting out Steel eSports, mate. Us as individuals have always wanted to do this, so this has
been a long time coming.
Finally getting this done.
The boys are here. Oh, Rock's done one. Came just come out of the shower. Maybe it's Maybelline. Here he is, big man.
I had no idea what you just said. Came back to the Maybelline.
Nothing at all, mate. Nothing at all.
Right, so what's
nothing
the
but good vibes.
First topic. You seen the Samsung CES this year?
Nope.
That's getting edited out.
Next topic.
That's getting edited out.
The reason why it's so funny is because my guy's been talking about it, saying, "Oh, we could bring this up as a topic," and I know nothing about the Samsung CES. Well, I've been like, "Oh yeah, I'd expect him to, tell us a bit about it." But then he asks, "Have I seen it?"
Well, I think the coolest thing they brought out was the thing that blew my mind. They had like massive TVs and shit, big projectors, like extra fridges and stuff. No one needs a Samsung fridge, but one of the biggest things they brought out was, you ever played Fallout 4? You know Mr. Handy, the fucking robot that does all the shit for you, like packs your dishes away and stuff.
I did see this.
One of them.
I did see this.
What the fuck? I've been wanting a robot butler since I was like 7, and now it's possible. I love it.
Well, speaking about the robots, have you all seen Boston Dynamics?
Yes.
Like, Jamie, what the fuck you doing?
Dogs.
I'm trying to turn down my light, mate, because my head's very bright.
Looks like it. My guy quit switching the old application.
Fucking what? I've got fucking Philips Hue lights on recent, have I? Fuck off.
We had a good 20 minutes fucking setup time here.
I'm dead bright. My fod's shiny. And I don't
Slide
like
it down.
Slide what down?
I imagine the slider for the brightness.
There is no fucking slider.
Oh, it's a shitter then, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's Philips Hue. Fuck yourself.
Just get an Elgato key light, mate.
Yeah, give me 200 quid.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So, did you all see the Boston Dynamics video they put out the other day?
Is it the one where, I've seen the one where
the
they're
robot's
abusing the
dancing.
dog.
And the
It's where they're
robot's
dancing. Yeah, it's actually a bit mad. And I think... Oh, host disabled, screen sharing. I was going to screen share it so you guys could see this. It's a bit mad. They are definitely.
I've seen the
revolutionising
Boston Dynamics video where the dog's trying to get through the door and they just keep hitting it with a brush.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Is that like the company that makes the robot that like
change
lifts
it? Do you know?
boxes and shit?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll come back to screen sharing next time.
Zoom's a
Yeah,
weird thing.
It's a
Imagine
weird thing.
before 2020, like you're sitting in 2019, like June. Zoom's sort of just been birthed as like a new conference thing.
Hmm.
Before this whole pandemic started, imagine investing in Zoom. You'd be fucking Jeff Bezos would be asking you for loans at this point.
You know what?
Insane.
It's a good call, and it goes back to the whole lockdown. Really, the amount of like the stock's
there we
gone up
go.
so
You can do
much.
it.
Mm.
The stock's gone up so much in the likes of Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon
Yeah.
Prime,
Well, they're
Amazon as a
talking-
whole.
They're talking about maybe not even bringing cinemas back and just letting like Netflix own the rights to films and streaming services like that. So you'd have to pay a $5 to go to the cinema.
Yeah.
You pay Netflix a $5 to watch like whatever you want that's coming out.
Yeah,
I
I
do
think I
think
said
that's a
this to
good
Jamie
idea.
ages ago. Like, not necessarily Netflix do it,
Mm.
but to keep like Odeon and such in business, they can release the film on their site. You just pay like £5
Yeah.
or £10, and you can watch it straight from home.
Or like even if you got an Odeon membership like Netflix and you just got access to all the new films, like
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
the same thing. Oh, hey, there we go.
You guys see this?
Yeah, let's go.
You probably won't be able to hear it.
No, and it's hella laggy.
What the
It's
fuck?
just mad.
I love these wee robots. They're so cool.
They are cool.
What's the point of Boston Dynamics? What are they trying to do? Like, why are they putting so much
pull
research?
off that now?
Bro, have you never seen iRobot?
I'd hope their
Um,
inspiration isn't iRobot.
I don't know. You stopped. Have you done it? Okay.
Mm.
Yeah,
Robots.
this is gonna be iRobot. This is the future. Boston Dynamics Elite. I think this watched iRobot back in like
Mm.
04 and went, you know what? Let's do this.
You know what? Inspiration right there.
Do you
Definitely.
think robots will one day take over humans? Is a question that I want to know.
No.
No.
The only
Take
reason why I
over.
mentioned this, right, is because sex robots are becoming a big thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Proper like sex toys in general are moving mad, right? So they've got like dolls that are realistic, but now they move into like having loads of different shit. Some can talk. Like, I swear I read something on Lad Bible the other day of some guy that married one.
Married one.
Yeah, married a sex doll.
That's mad. Imagine marrying a sex doll. Why?
Yeah, all right,
Is that even legal? Can you marry inanimate objects?
Yeah, there's a woman who fucking married a train.
Oh yeah, true. That's mad. Marriage is such a
Yes.
weird thing.
Can you imagine being the priest though? Like in the eyes of the Lord, this male is going to marry this silicone fuck doll.
Takes me back to like school. I'm sure there's a story going around years ago about fucking someone who fucked a car exhaust. I'm like,
Oh,
what are you doing
yeah.
with your life? Like,
I think that
why would you do this?
Yeah,
I
there's.
think that was on like My Strange Addiction or something.
Yeah,
the
the
guy,
guy who makes love to his car.
yeah, like
And there's, like,
shagged his car.
He lies underneath it, kissing the bumper. It's
Yeah. Ah, that was such a weird fucking video. What a guy.
a lot of crazy stuff.
Like, what actually goes through someone's head to do that? Like, I don't know. There's got to be
mean,
something, like some
there
wires
is-
crossed.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's got to be some
Yeah.
wires crossed there.
To look at a car and think, I'd shag that. There's
Bet
got to be
that.
something
It's a
a
bet
bit
of me.
wrong up here.
But there's a woman on there that eats drywall and stuff as well. Just imagine.
Oh
Just
yeah.
thinking, you know what? I don't want beans on toast. I want brick wall. Like
I
it's just
remember
not normal behavior.
the weirdest one was like the lassie that was addicted to sand and cigarette ash. And she would like
What?
eat cigarette ash It's like, why? Just eat food. Just eat normal people food, please. Stop eating cigarette ash. It's
Tell you what,
disgusting. That's gross.
on the topic of eating normal people food, I watched a video the other night of a blogger in Japan who spent the entire day only eating food out of vending machines.
I've seen that video.
Yeah, it's crazy that you
Seen
can
that
do
video,
something like that.
Yeah. I feel like Japan's really good for vending machines. They've got vending machines for a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
like you can get a cup of noodle, and once you've bought it, you can put it in the machine as on a separate part, and it does the hot water for you. And you just take it out like on the go. You know, it's like you buy a Rustler's burger in the shop. You got to take it home and microwave it. The guy in the shop doesn't microwave it for you. Japan's got it all there, all in one.
I'm sure I saw like a pizza vending machine in like probably Japan or something like that.
Yeah, no, it was. Japan's got a lot of stuff. They've got fish, so you can get live fish. You can get a big lobster from one. You can get a crab from one. You can buy hotel room keys from a vending machine in different hotels across Japan.
I saw you could get like boiled eggs as well in like sealed bags, like airlock sealed bags, boiled eggs.
Yep. You can get underwear.
Natural casing.
You can get underwear from vending machines.
We can now get masks out of vending machines.
Yeah, masks. We can get masks.
Which, by the way, if none of you have got a mask, www.gamersapparel.com/store/steal, you can get yourself a nice mask.
Hey, you can also get a nice hoodie, which three of the 4 of us are wearing.
Sorry, Jordan's got one. It's in the wash.
With my patience.
Okay. Kill him.
Yeah, like it's the same way that we do it. Like you go to those machines that have snacks in the UK, like Twix bars and stuff. They do it the same way in Japan, where you can buy your own vending machine and just put whatever you want in it.
That's kind of sick.
I think in the video he bought one of these things. It was like a capsule, and it had a robotic beetle in it, and just newspaper bricks wrapped in newspaper to weigh the capsule down. So he essentially paid like $7 for a little toy beetle and 3 newspapers full of bricks.
What the hell? There's a video idea for any big YouTubers. Maybe a UK YouTuber can get this once and for all. Buy a vending machine, a couple £100, like one that's been used. Fill it with something unbelievable, like iPhones, phones, iPads, something mad. Bang it on a street, sell them for like £1 each. Get a viral video out of it. Something Mr. Beast would do 100%. So
you got to put a few stupid items in there though, like
like what? Banana.
No, just I don't know, something a bit different.
Stock it filled with like iPhone boxes, but there's only one unit in the vending machine that actually has the iPhone in it. All of them are just filled with random shit in an iPhone box, and you have to try and like get the iPhone. That'll be the premise of the video. Whoever gets the iPhone keeps it. Everything's $1 kind of thing. That'd be kind of cool.
And you made your money back.
Yeah. By the time someone gets the iPhone, just chuck it right at the back of a very obscure unit. And then boom, there you go.
You just have the only thing on the iPhone, you'd have like a video with like a number to call, and you could call the YouTuber and have like a little interview letting them know who you are when you found the phone.
Yeah. Be sick.
There you are. UK YouTubers. Chunks, my guy. You'll do something like that.
You've seen
that brings us on
if you're watching.
I was going to say that brings us on to the very, very controversial topic of Android versus iPhone.
Ooh.
I thought you were going to talk about TikTok, man.
Are we on a perfect split in this call of 2 Androids versus 2 iPhones?
Yeah.
I think we are. And, looking how it is, the iPhone's on top. The Androids are down the bottom.
Off. That's the only reason you did that.
Look how that worked out. Fantastic.
I mean, it depends. What do you use your phone for?
Phone things. Text.
Right, then
phone things.
Then get an Apple. There you go.
Yeah. Android. I think Android's a really good work-friendly phone. There's a lot of stuff you can do on it that.
What would you do on an Android that you can't do on an iPhone?
And before you say taking pictures, fuck off, because both of you don't take pictures.
No, but I do use my phone for like recording videos.
I did headshots for a friend of mine the other day using only my Samsung phone. Professional quality headshots.
Which friend?
She's called Carolina.
Breaking lockdown rules, mate.
It was outside. We were 6 meters apart. 6 feet apart.
Not allowed outside. We're on lockdown.
Yeah, you are allowed outside. Of course, you're allowed outside.
My man was doing squat jogs.
You're allowed outside once a day.
Don't drop them.
Little Four Lions quote there, if anyone's seen it.
But to answer your question, just unlocking the developer tools and having free control over your phone. I don't look like an alcoholic. Look at this. You ever tried Jack Daniel's Tennessee Apple? If not,
I'll be honest, I thought that was hand
Apple.
sanitizer at first.
hanging. It goes down like hand
Boys, try
sanitizer.
this.
Apple.
It's got alcohol in it somewhere.
So tell me about your open developer tools. Then what? What are you doing?
Whatever control you want, you can change your layout, have your layout however you want. You know, you've got developer control over different apps, how much RAM usage your phone has, how much space you can allocate to certain apps. Like, I spend a lot of money. My phone is my luxury. I spend a lot of money on my phone.
Yeah. With developer tools, there's a lot of stuff you can do with the actual coding of certain parts of your phone as well. Like, it's quite cool. Some of the standard stock apps are vaguely open source, so you can like edit the app itself, which is kind of cool. So I think it's
right.
A very
So
good...
the general user, who's doing that? This is my argument. You don't need to do it. Why just have us? It just works. This is what I like about iPhone. It just works.
The argument over iPhone versus Android is, what do you want to use your phone for? If you just want an out of the box phone that you don't really have to give a shit about, fine, buy an Apple phone. If you want to do things with your phone, if you're interested in your phone rather than just buying a phone for the sake of having a phone, then I'd get an Android because you can do much more with it.
Also, I do think Samsung has a nicer look to it, at least in my opinion. Apple's a lot more simplified, which can be very good, but
too mainstreamy for me. It's always been the go-to when someone recommends it. But if you ask them why they're recommending it to you over an Android, they can't give you an answer because
it's always kind of just like Apple's better.
Yeah, they just think they've been brainwashed to think that you should just buy Apple products because everyone else
Genius
does.
of marketing.
Why does everybody else buy Apple
It is
products?
good marketing.
Oh, they
Apple
absolutely nailed the park with marketing.
Drones.
Unbelievable.
Like,
but Android, the fact that iPhone keeps up with Android as a whole is remarkable because obviously iPhone is just one company where Android, fucking everything uses it.
Yeah.
You have tablets, all this sort of stuff. So many different manufacturers use Android.
Like almost every phone that isn't an Apple phone uses Android, which is very
because they have
interesting.
different versions of operating systems, for Android.
Also, don't you have like mad names for them, like Skittles?
Yeah, like Snapdragon.
Yeah,
Snapdragon and stuff like that.
A lot of them are named after like
it's an ice cream sandwich
confectionaries and stuff. Yeah, ice cream sandwich. That was on some of the older Samsung phones.
Yeah,
I think it's still on some of the tablets. I think the Samsung Watch uses something similar to ice cream sandwich.
I think one big thing that the market needs to be ready for is Apple developing their own stuff finally. So obviously they get like the screens and some of the tech from Samsung and LG.
Yeah.
They have just this year brought out their own CPU chip, the Apple Silicon M1, I think it was called, which dramatically brought the price down of like the MacBooks.
Yeah.
And I think as soon as they start doing it with their phones and they start creating their own screens and their own processors and all that sort of stuff, then I think the iPhones will be going a lot cheaper. Instead of $1,000, it might be $600-700, which I think will just propel them into the market because they're a lot more accessible.
I mean, even at the moment, the direct competitor like phone, so the S21 and the iPhone 12 are basically like the competition phones at the moment for each company, and the S21 is still going for like a good 200 quid cheaper. So I think that's definitely something that keeps Samsung up there with Apple, is you get similar performance down to the personal aspects of what you prefer, but on a base level of like speed, RAM, screen size, screen resolution stuff, you get basically the same thing, but for a lot cheaper. But Apple still do a lot of stuff that Samsung can't do. Like marketing wise, Apple have smashed it, and that's why they can get away with selling their phones for so much.
I get that.
I have nothing against Apple, but I would just, if I'm going to consider buying an Apple, fuck off. If I'm going to consider buying an Apple product, you're going to have to let me do more than what you're telling me the phone can do. Like,
Yeah.
it's like it's one of the things like when someone tells you a story, that's what, or you're playing like an RPG game and you're doing the main quest line. That's what I feel like an Apple phone is, where you're doing like a Samsung phone. You've got all these side quests and other things you can be doing, or you just spend your time fishing. You don't have to do the main story if you wanted to just go and fish. That's what I feel like a Samsung phone is. You just do whatever you want with it. Whereas Apple's like, oh, if you want to download music, you have to be Apple Music member. You can't like just download music files on the internet, put up as your ringtone. That's crazy.
Well, no, that's not true because you can, because there's plenty of apps on the App Store that allow you to download directly from YouTube or any other site. There's plenty of apps on the App Store. And what I don't understand is all this idea of there's so much more that I can do on an Android phone, but you can do all that on a PC. So why do you need to do that on your phone when your phone's technically really just for calling, messaging? That's always what a phone's been for. It's called a phone for a reason. It's for phoning people and messaging them. Apple simplify that. There's more restrictions on it than there is Android, but like the music stuff, there's ways around it because of developers make apps mainly for iOS anyway, because it's the most popular phone. An iPhone is, I would say, is the most popular phone. I think it's been ahead for a while.
I just want to feel like if I'm going to be paying over £1,000 for a phone, I want to at least be able to do whatever I want with it if I so choose to want to do that.
No, but what's that whatever you want with it?
Well, it's just like I said, with my apps and stuff, if I wanted to, I can like I said, I can change the RAM usage of my phone. I can swap all my layouts around. There's so many developer tools that I haven't even touched on. But just because I can, because they're there.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. So from an iPhone user's point of view, that a lot of those options aren't there. So I don't need to explore and mess around with that sort of stuff because it's simplified. My apps are there. I can move them around. I can click on them. I can download stuff. There's ways of getting free music, free videos, all this stuff. But your what I'm getting is your argument is because it's there, you can do it. But say you never got an Android phone and your first phone was an iPhone and your next phone was an iPhone and iPhone after that, you wouldn't be worried about all that stuff because you wouldn't be used to it. Those options wouldn't be there for you. So you wouldn't be thinking, shit, you know what I'm missing? A load of developer tools.
But say I do a lot of, like, I game a lot on my phone. I'm a big gacha gamer and I play a lot of them on my phone. And when I'm not sat on my phone, I'll use BlueStacks on my computer and I'll emulate the game with my account logged in, and I'll play the game when I'm sat here watching YouTube videos. And then if I have to go out somewhere for the day, or I'm going to a family's house for like a weekend, I put my account back on the phone and then I take it with me and play it. And I couldn't do that on an Apple because I'm pretty sure you can't use account sharing from BlueStacks to Apple phones. I'm pretty sure it's just Samsung.
I don't know what BlueStacks is, I'll be honest.
No, you can't.
No,
but it's different uses for different people. Like the regular user's not going to do that. So,
but I think if you are interested in AKA unlocking the development tools, like you were saying, you can also do that on iPhone with
you got to jailbreak it, but then you run the
which
risk
is
of
then unlocking. To be fair, quite the risk. As long as you do a little bit of research, it's dead easy to do it.
Yeah, you brick the phone, but you also void the warranty as well. Really, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, like if you reset it, but if it's broke or something, your phone, you just factory reset it or something, and you can install your stuff back onto it, and you just go in and go, "Oh, the screen's broke." Like they won't know.
I think, in my opinion, or at least the way I sort of see it, is I picture Apple as. This is gonna make it even more controversial, but I picture Apple as like a console, like PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. And I picture Samsung as a PC. There's a lot of stuff people that have grown up on only consoles, they'll look at a PC and think, well, I don't need to be able to use mods. I don't need to be able to adjust my RAM. I don't need to be able to access the internet at the same time. I'm fine. I'm perfectly happy just gaming. And then there's people that are just perfectly happy with apps. You can move the apps about, use them, phone and text. And like, that's fine. That's all you need. But when you make that upgrade and you start using the other stuff, you realize that it is a little bit helpful if you need it. But then even if you don't need it, it's still good to have for if the time arises that you do need it.
I will say I'm just reading a little report here now on 9 to 5 Mac, if anyone's aware of the website. It's all like Apple news. And today, actually, a story came out that LG Display have ceased making LCD screens for iPhones.
Really?
Yeah. So LG once rivaled Samsung as a key supplier of iPhone screens, and now they've kind of not done it. So, but Apple have been in talks for a long time about creating their own. So maybe this is the start of it.
Hasn't there been something coming out that they're doing a flip phone?
Apple?
Yeah, there's a pattern for it, but it's been like patents for a lot of different things. To be fair, that don't even surface, or like they do the pattern for it and then it won't surface for another like 5 years when they've. Because the thing is with Apple, they let Samsung and LG and all this sort of stuff bring them out, see how the market responds to them, and then in the meantime, whilst Apple's kind of like watching them and seeing if it goes well or goes bad, they're perfecting theirs and saying, okay, the LG's messed up on this. Let's make sure we don't. And then they'll be late to the party, but they normally come through with, argument's sake, there's a cat in the podcast. They normally come through with probably one of the better versions of the device.
I think that's something with this whole sort of phone debate that a lot of people always bring up, like, oh, iPhone always copy Samsung. Yeah. But I do think it's more of a case of, yes, they do copy Samsung, but not in the way of they see what Samsung have done and think, oh, we should do that. They see what Samsung has done, and if the market hasn't reacted well to it, they just won't care. But if the market's reacted well, it's almost like they've used Samsung as like a guinea pig company to test out new ideas in the market as a whole. Because I imagine Samsung and Apple, although being rival companies, they won't be they won't be completely immune to communicating with each other what their
they do
vague
business with
plans
each other.
are. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like obviously people say Apple copy this, Apple copy that, but nobody actually knows because Apple's so hush hush that Apple could have had the idea there first and they could have been working on it first, but obviously nobody knows that, and that's information that they'll never disclose, so nobody knows.
I mean, if anything, they could have given the idea to Samsung, like, do you want to try this?
Yeah.
And like, we'll give you the idea if you put it forward first and see how the market reacts.
Definitely.
Hey, one thing I don't think Apple need to keep bringing out: fucking iPads.
Yeah, iPads and iPods, in my opinion.
I'll tell you why. I'll get it right now for you.
Yeah.
This is an incredibly old iPad.
Like an
still
iPad
works.
3.
Still fine.
It's not a 3, mate. That's a 1. That's an iPad 1.
Yeah, it is an iPad 1.
Mad.
Still works. Still fine. Absolutely no issues with it. Bro. Still use it.
Yeah. I mean,
obviously can't no software updates on it, but I can still download everything. There's still new apps that I can download from the App Store.
Yeah.
I can still get on Safari. I can still get on YouTube. All the like necessary stuff, notes, etc. I don't think they need to keep improving it. What more can you do with an iPad?
They've already done the one where it comes out with
a smart keyboard, so it's already now a laptop. Why? Yeah. You already make laptops. You don't need to make it a laptop.
Well, Microsoft have brought a tablet out. They've got a keyboard that you can snap to it too, don't they? They brought that out.
Yeah.
A while ago. I can't remember what the name of it is.
I don't actually think that Apple
Surface
change much with their iPads. I mean, like the iPad I have is I think it was the 2019 iPad that came out.
Yeah. See,
this comes off.
Mad.
Yeah, I know that it's great and everything, but why
is it necessary? Just buy a MacBook.
I get your argument.
Yeah, but he's got a MacBook, and so have I.
So why'd you need a keypad?
He almost didn't have a MacBook then.
Portability. So I used to obviously, if I went on holiday or whatever, I used to take my laptop, but now I can take my iPad. It's thinner, it's lighter, it's easier, and I can do everything I can do on my laptop on that. So instead of taking my laptop to meetings, I had that before it. So this is I can be doing work at my desk on this. I can take it, in another room. I can do whatever. So I've got my computer here. I can't move this. I've got this. This is obviously a computer as well. It's not like an iPad or a iOS device. I can go on my bed. I can do emails, all that sort of stuff. I can do it on my iPad, but it's a lot more easier to do it on here because it is a desktop computer, but a portable one. But your argument between, why do we need to keep improving them goes back to the computer. Why do you need to keep improving your computer? Why do you upgrade your graphics card?
suppose. But what are they really changing year to year?
CPU, GPU, obviously screen technology, battery life, just different bits of technology. What's working, what's not. Because Touch ID and Force Touch was a thing for a while, where depending on how hard you press on the screen, different options happened.
Oh yeah.
That kind of died out, so they got rid of that now.
What about the smaller MacBooks? Like obviously
The Air?
mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
MacBook Air.
I've got an Air, so why didn't you just get one of them instead of having your iPad? Because your argument originally is it's too big, so it's more compact, whereas the Air is pretty much the same size as your iPad, but it's a laptop.
Not really. The Air's 13 and 15-inch screens, I think. Where the iPad's only 7. Like,
mine fits in my backpack. Fits in all my backpacks.
Yeah, pretty sure my iPad's like a 10 or 11 or something.
I'm not sure.
Depends
what you get, because these bigger ones are smaller. I got the smaller iPad. It might be smaller, but it's my MacBook. I got the MacBook Pro for, obviously I was doing YouTube a lot of the time, and I wanted to do it for video editing on the go, so I got the Pro. The Air is advertised heavily towards students, like university students, because normally if you go on mid-year before the semester starts or whatever, they normally say, buy an Apple device, get a free pair of Beats. That's changing now because Apple are releasing it on their phones, but it used to be like, get this, get a free pair of Beats. It was advertised at students because of the lightweight. All it was used for, it's basically a Chromebook. You can go on the internet, you can go on Word, you can go on Excel. You're not going to be able to play games. You're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do that. Video editing, you could probably do it it'll be slow. But it was just like it was a cheap
Just
budget.
where I come in trumps and slam all that down because I've got one.
Go for it. I can't game on this. I've tried gaming on this.
I've used Adobe Photoshop and Premiere Pro on my Air, and it works fine. There's no lagging on it. The speeds are fine, and I've also played Minecraft on it.
Okay. I can't not play Minecraft on this one.
Well, yours is old, so mine. I got mine last year, so maybe that's
true. It is now.
To do with the years.
I do think Apple are.
I'm not saying it runs amazing,
video and photo
but I can play it.
What was that, Rock?
I don't think Apple products, like my iPad, when I'm like out and about doing like photography stuff, I'll take my iPad with and like a little USB stick, and Lightroom running on my iPad is almost better than doing it on my PC, just because like I love the way the iPad screen looks. It's very vibrant and the colors are very true.
Yeah.
But with like a PC screen with like settings and stuff, it's quite hard to get the colors sort of that vibrant, but then go to gaming and then, there's a cut off between good colors for photography and good colors for gaming. They're not the same settings. So yeah, I do like the iPad for like Apple products in general for like video and photo editing. I think that's something they do really well.
Just want to say Rock's not been outside in about 5 years, so I don't know where he's getting that story from.
I don't know what you mean, mate.
Did your dad go with you?
Of course, mate. Always. How do you think he gets so muddy?
Right, let's use a minute to talk about our sponsor.
Raid Shadow Legends.
All right, now that's done. Guys. Let's go back.
We don't have one. Moving on.
Raid Shadow Legends comes in. They didn't tell you this, guys, but I'm getting cheeky grand for this.
Input sponsorship. Shout us out.
Yeah, fucker.
SteelEsportsOrg@gmail.com.
Hey.
Slide in the
Our sponsor today is
emails.
ourselves. #StaySteel. Cat's licking the monitor.
Cat is
I was
licking
just
the monitor.
about to say my cat is licking the monitor. You freak.
I wonder my guy rages on Valorant. Look what goes on.
Exactly. See what I'm saying?
Got tongue marks all over the place. From when his dad comes in and licks monitor and when his cat does.
For anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, Rourke is a carer for his dad and he sometimes requires washing in the shower. So occasionally Rourke has to disappear so he can help wash his dad in the shower.
Of course. Always.
That also explains why he's licking the monitor.
You're going to show your dad this podcast?
No, mate.
Is that
not a chance?
You've never washed me, bro.
No.
I always ask you and you always say no.
Have got you, you fucker.
Oh God.
Moving on. The fall of Cyberpunk.
Oh,
Fucking hell. I'll let Jordan
Should it-
take this one. He was waiting for it for ages. I can't wait to hear what he's got to say.
bet you feel
Should it have
good.
been released?
No.
No, but yes. I mean, I have not
Take it
had
forward.
problems with it. I've not had problems with it, and I don't know if that's because I'm running a card that can smash out ray tracing and is perfectly fine. I get a solid 60 frames per second, and the game runs great on ultra. Personally, I've got more than my money's worth out of the game. I've had no game breaking bugs. Story's been fine. I've been able to play it all the way through. There are people who are having a fucking awful time on it, and that sucks. And people are slating the game because of that. And there are mechanics, yeah, sure. GTA has mechanics that vastly outmaneuver what Cyberpunk has brought to the table. For instance, just car vehicle chasing, parking in the street, pedestrians will just beep at you, call you a dickhead and drive around you.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, you park there, go do a mission that takes 3 days, come back, the guy's still sat there in the car behind you. The police don't chase you. They spawn like 2 feet away from you, which is awful. They don't chase you around the town or anything like that. But if you just play it as like an RPG story game, like treat it a bit like Mass Effect, and you don't really care about the police chases and all that kind of stuff, because there's no benefit to shooting pedestrians in the street. You don't get anything from it. So
There's no benefits to doing it in GTA, but you still
well, yeah, no,
Yeah,
but
it
this
still
is what
gets
I'm saying.
done.
Like, there's no benefit to doing it. So it's just a part of the game that you don't really have to pay that much attention to. Like, if it doesn't bother you that much, I don't think the game depreciates in value for £50 or whatever it was when it came out, because the police don't chase me properly. Like, I make my little silent pistol build, and I get in and get out little commando one tapping headshots and doing the missions, and I enjoy that, and I think that's great, and it's a lot better than most of the early access games that are on Steam at the minute.
My guy John Wick.
Pretty much. People obviously are not happy with it on the current gen consoles because it runs like dog shit, and it will. The consoles are like, what is it, 11 years old?
Yeah, pretty much.
Roughly, I think so.
Around about 2011, I believe, was when the Xbox One came out. I might be wrong. I remember 2011 was when I bought Skyrim.
I think it's around that time.
So yeah, around about 10 years. It's going to run like shit. It barely runs good on a graphics card that doesn't have RTX features. Cannot run Cyberpunk. If you were to put it on a 1080, you could not play it. Like it's like 27 frames per second. So trying to put it on a console that's 10 years old was never going to work. I mean, sure, strip all that down, take all the ray tracing stuff off it, but the game is just still so heavy that it just doesn't function. Like my roommate Kyle tried it on his computer. He's got a 1070 and he immediately refunded it because it just won't play.
Right.
See the argument with that? When they announced it, they initially intended for it to be released onto the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. So if they originally intended for it to be released on a console which is now considered 3 generations old, why is it so difficult to run it on a console that is 2 generations ahead of where they intended to release it? Why can they not just optimize their game to run on the console it was released
when
on?
you consider like when the first trailer for Cyberpunk came out, which was God knows how long ago. I think was it 2007 or something stupid when it was first announced at a game convention?
2008. Maybe.
Like that was obviously going to be optimized for the consoles that were out previously to the gen that's just come out. They pushed it back and pushed it back and pushed it back, right? But what for? Like, if it was never optimized for that console, you should have just done what they did with Red Dead Redemption. Release it on PC, fine. Spend all that time fixing and fleshing the bugs out. Don't bother optimizing it for Xbox 360 or PlayStation 4. Get rid of it. Bring it out on PC in the polished, clean state. Take the revenue from that. Wait, like they did with Red Dead. They brought it out on consoles, and a year later it came to PC. Wait until the next gen of consoles comes out. Take the framework you've got for the current gen computers and downscale it or whatever you need to do to optimize it for the consoles that have just come out, because it could have just released as the game that came out with the new consoles. It could have been the starter package, and they would have made so much money doing it that way than trying to bring it out on 10-year-old consoles.
Yeah. I think they should have, brought it out ages ago. and then just kept updating it and updating it, and kept in line with relevant consoles rather than releasing it and trying to backdate everything. And I had it on PlayStation 5, and to be honest, it worked fine. There was never really any bugs. The only thing that happened is roughly about every 45 minutes, it would just freeze and crash. Like for about the same time every time. I don't know whether the game builds up maybe like a cache or something, and as soon as it's like a certain point, it just overloads it and it goes, I can't handle this. I don't know.
I remember there was an issue where they said if your save file was over a certain amount of megabytes, it corrupted your game.
All right.
So they were telling people to not pick up items, like only pick up what you need. Don't hoard items in your inventory because it will crash your game. Like,
everything up.
If you just pick up a load of junk.
You shouldn't need to do that. You shouldn't release a game that can't run. I think one of the major problems for PC gamers, obviously not yourself, is that GTA came out 8 years ago. And it still runs better, and there's still there's so many users that play the game, and there's so much stuff to do in the game anyway. Now you're talking about a game that physically, like visually, it looked really good. For months, everyone was raving over it. It got delayed a little bit. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's a shame. We'll wait." And then I feel like they should have delayed it again because I think they pushed it out way too soon because they thought it might impact the sales a little bit. And I feel like it did that anyway because everyone had to refund the game because more users had issues with it than the users that didn't. I think, Jordan, you were probably in a very small margin of people who are able to jump on and play that game fine.
I think it's really hurt their marketing, the fact that they didn't offer the refund. It was Sony who came out with it first and said, we're issuing refunds to every customer who's bought this game, regardless of what Cyberpunk say. And then Microsoft did it. And then Cyberpunk they had to. They jumped on board and said, you know what, if you're not happy with it, you can refund it via Sony and Microsoft. But I think that's really hurt their reputation in terms of when they re-release it. I think they're going to have a lot less sales until they've watched all the reviews and this, that, the rest, and know it's stable.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say that I don't think that game will reach the heights that it should have done. I don't think it'll have the users and the players that it will, because I just don't think people will believe that it's a good game. And it's one of those games that will release and people will be all over it saying, "Oh, this is good," and even gaming influencers will be on it saying, "Oh, it's a good game, you should try it out." But I still don't think people will trust it enough to go out and buy it, because also it was expensive when it released. What was it, like £50 or something?
50 quid.
It's a very expensive game for something that's broke. So you've released it. You've delayed it once already to try and make sure you've got all the fixes out. You thought you did it. You released it. It was broke to fuck. And now you're trying to fix it again. It's just not. I feel like they've all their market has been cut in half hugely. And now that I can't see it winning any gaming awards. I can't see it becoming popular. I think people are going to be waiting on, a lot more games. I mean, they should have done what the Hogwarts game did, the new Harry Potter game. They've delayed that till it was supposed to come out at the end of this year, so that they had all this year to do it, and they've delayed it till next year now, like mid next year, because they know they need a couple more. They needed to do a couple more things, but they gave themselves like 4 or 5 months to make sure that it works. They only need to add a couple more things, but they've given themselves such a big time frame. Whereas I don't think Cyberpunk have done that. I think they've just gone, fuck, we'll delay it by 2 weeks and then release it.
I think.
Sorry?
No, you go for it.
I was just gonna say, see with the if you're not too bothered about the police chases, or going back to what you said earlier, as long as you're not worried about it, if you treat it like a story game, it's fine. But in a game that's quite open world, like GTA, for example, the police chases and the interaction between player and pedestrian and player and NPC and stuff, that's all part of the world building. And if you don't believe the world you're in is plausibly real, you're not gonna connect with the story, and you're not gonna feel immersed in the game. That's why GTA did so well, because pedestrians, 9 times out of 10, a pedestrian will act like a real person, and police will react in a relatively plausible way for this trumped up crime-ridden universe that GTA is kind of set in. So with Cyberpunk having NPCs that'll sit in a car behind you for a week if you just leave your PC on, do you really believe you're in that world? Like, is that
But
really
that's it.
a
It goes
world you
back to the marketing of gaming as a whole as escapism. And if you don't believe it and you're just kind of looking at it like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But on a side note, I just wanted to quickly say, sorry, a question to all of you here is, do you think Cyberpunk would have been accepted if they released it saying Cyberpunk in alpha?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think everyone would have been
I-
like, you know
I
what, yeah,
believe
this is
so.
cool?
Yeah.
I would have preferred it to have launched in early access. This is
Yeah.
one of those games where I would have said launch it in early access. And I'm not saying launch it now in early access because you demoed it in 2007. I'm saying launch it a while ago in early access and still get to this point and be like, you know, we've almost got a finished game. We're almost ready for 1.0. We've got to fix these things here, there, and there, and we're good to go. But the whole Cyberpunk versus GTA argument is you look at how long GTA has been going for. You look at GTA, the very first GTA, the top-down one that had police chases like way back on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
They've been doing that and only that since then.
Mm.
Whereas you like CD Projekt Red, they've had The Witcher. Like they haven't done anything like this before. It was their first
True.
attempt at it. And sure, it hasn't worked, but it's not game breaking. Like it will be fixed and I imagine it will get patched in the future.
Yeah.
But it's
I
their
think if
first
you-
stab at it. And
If you
I
run
don't
it
think
up
it's
against
worth
The
it.
Witcher, I think it is a very good game. For like, if you put CD Projekt Red in a bubble, Cyberpunk is probably the best game they've released, in my opinion, mechanics wise. Like, compared to The Witcher, it's got a lot of similarities, and it's also got a lot of things that have stepped up. So I think for the company, they have done really well in a genre they're not familiar with.
yeah, I think for their first stab at a game, I think they've done better than 90% of the developers on the market for their first shot at it. And I think that 10%, that marginal 10% is capitalized on by, like, say, Rockstar, who have had these mechanics in place since the very first Grand Theft Auto, which came out way back when. Like, if I imagine if CD Projekt Red had as long to perfect this game as Rockstar have had to perfect their mechanics over the years, I think they would be in a very similar situation. But
Yeah.
I think games in early access tend to do well. If you bring a game out in early access and you allow user testing, like for example, Dead Matter, like that has been on the cards for ages. I bought that years ago, and it's only recently, I think the end of last year, maybe September, October time, came to early access to allow you to play it. And because of that, it allowed everyone to send feedback and bug reports on little things like a rock that you walk through, or a rock that you can't get over and it bugs and crashes the game. They don't know this stuff exists unless user experience is there. And I feel like every game should have it.
Yeah.
But I don't think console games
Fortnite's
should
still
have
early
it.
access.
Yeah, the Battle Royale
H1Z1
portion of
probably is.
Fortnite.
there's
that died.
I really dig my ARPG games like Diablo and Path of Exile and Grim Dawn and stuff like that. And there's a game out on Steam at the moment that I'm this close to buying called Last Epoch, and it is very highly regarded at the moment, and it is in early access. They're currently on to testing multiplayer. They've been very transparent, but there was an incident on the Reddit the other day where someone posted a screenshot of them running some of the end game content, and the button was in the middle of the screen, and they said, "Oh, it'd be great if the developers could put this button down at the bottom so that I could click it and it wouldn't be in the way of me picking things up." And I click it by accident. And 10 minutes later, one of the devs replied on Reddit and said, "Yeah, sure, next hotfix." Like 10 minutes after the guy suggested it, and he's done it. But then I also think there's scumbag companies that will take all the money and run in early access. So it kind of depends. Like CD Projekt Red, I would have given them my money in a heartbeat for early access Cyberpunk because I know what The Witcher is capable of, and they've already built that reputation with me. But a company that comes out of nowhere and wants all this funding and then just leaves, it's just there's a bad side to it and there's a good side to early access, and it's like gambling. You just got to take the risk with a company.
I do think companies that are like fairly new, they don't have a lot of games behind them, and the games they do have are generally considered sort of C tier games rather than like AAA titles. People are a lot more skeptical to go into paid early access on those type of games just because there is that fear that the company's gonna crash, or they're just gonna stop developing the game and take all the money.
Yeah.
But with bigger companies, I think that's less of a worry because they can't afford to make that reputation for themselves.
Yeah. It's a battle.
Mm.
It's definitely a battle. But yeah. So
I just want to say, Jordan, we can see you on your phone.
I'm just still got to take the dogs out, so I'm like, yeah, I'll be down when I'm finished, and I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to be finished.
It's that mirror, mate. It's giving away all your secrets.
But I think
What was having a girlfriend? If you're single, well done you for being single. Well done.
I think that's a great way to end the pilot episode of the Steel podcast, the Four Guys Pointless Talk, the
Terry and the boys.
Terry's Angels, yeah.
Terry's Angels. I love
Terry's
that.
Angels. Yeah.
We have to think of a name for next episode. We got to think. Of a
Yeah.
name.
Put it in the
I feel
comment
like-
section if you're watching this. Put it in the comment section what you think we should be called. If you
Every
enjoyed it.
time we do this podcast, we should have some form of takeaway from Terry. We should all join. We'll all get Chinese one week. Next week we'll get something else.
Whoa,
I'll have
what
a
do you
little-
mean? Why
Well,
was
well,
Chinese your first one?
Well, I just mean Terry's a very good cook, and he does very good Oriental food, and I think we should start with his
Who's
best and see
Terry?
where he can go.
Who's Terry?
The first
Just a
comment.
friend of ours.
Who's Terry?
Friend of ours. He's visited all of our back gardens. Just knows
Sounds
us,
like
just knows
Santa
us.
Claus.
Just knows
He's like
us.
Terry's like your dad's mate, who's a jack of all trades. You know, you want your
Mm.
pipes doing in your backyard. He's there. You want some Chinese food. He's there.
Specifically,
You want your
specifies
pipes
in,
doing?
or specializes,
Backyard.
in Chinese food and backyard antics.
Yes.
He never goes in your house. He cooks outside.
Chinese food on the grill.
He
On the gr-
always looks his best. He's always looking sharp.
True,
Fix
true.
up.
It's a look, chat.
So, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this podcast, please do leave a like rating, leave comments down below what you think of it. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate the support and appreciate the love. So, yeah.
Let us know if you want any of the participants replacing with someone else.
Yeah. Let us know who to replace Jamie with.
Let's put a poll on.
He just pointed at Joe. Rob doesn't even know where he is.
Your screen is
You're
wrong.
You're the only one that's got it wrong.
You make me come down there.
Yeah,
Put you all up.
yeah. Don't.
Yeah.
That guy's shanky. Right, we're out. We're gonna get demonetized.
Gonna have to blur that.
Appreciate it. Ciao, ciao.
Catch you next
Peace.
time. Bye.
Speaking, ranting about Cyberpunk. Listen here, cunts. Just because you've all got shit PCs and can't run it doesn't mean it's not worth 50 fucking quid. Just buy better computers. Stop playing on consoles that came out 10 years ago. Save up for 10 years and buy a fucking better computer, you reprobate 12-year-old. There are 13-year-old kids on Reddit right now posting, "This is my first build." And you know what? Their first build can run Cyberpunk better than your 10-year-old console. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to buy another fucking console because you're thick. Once bitten, not even twice shy, twice a dickhead because you'll do it again. You know who consoles are for? Dads, when they come home from work and they go, you know what? Feet up, let's have a game of FIFA. You know who consoles aren't for? 16-year-old kids on Ritalin who want to smash Fortnite all day. It's just not for them. I demoed the Battle Royale version of Fortnite and I was terrible at it, so I gave up. And I went to a family friend's house and their 6-year-old kid is like, "Oh, what games do you play?" And I was like, "Oh, I play a bit of Fortnite." And he's like, "Oh, really? I play Fortnite too." Pulls out his Nintendo Switch, starts playing it, taps 3 buttons, he has a 4-story house built. I'm like, how have you done that then? How have you done that then?